Okay, and I'm back. This is Cupcake Trap, casting a Shoutcasted pickup match on November 13th. We are doing Factions Thursday. These are just pickup matches, but they are Shoutcasted. We're kind of trying to encourage people to, create matches during the week, which they do, but we're trying to encourage more. One way to make Cupcake Trap happy and everyone happy is to go to how to play, create match, and just go start a match. Anytime, anyone can start the match and just send in the results, and they will be scored. I'm going to be bringing in 501st Big Mike to co-cast. This match is between between Bilgewater and Ionia. The Bilgewater. No, just Bilgewater. There are two factions this arc with "the" in front of their name. Always throws me off. The Bilgewater. It is the Bilgewater versus the Ionia. Like I was saying, skill matchup wise, I believe Ionia has about a 70% predicted win rate. However, that's just in terms of skill tiers, and that's because Ionia basically has an extra plat. In terms of faction strength, however, it's definitely favored. Let's see. Yeah, Bilgewater is definitely favored. I don't know the stats offhand. Actually, I can find them. We have stats for everything. Oh, actually, let me update that, though. Yep, there we go. In featured matches, which are matches where it's, well, essentially totally even skill-wise, the win rate for... Oh, we don't have that computed, do we? Nonetheless, Bilgewater clearly beats Ionia most of the time. We haven't actually crunched the specifics. But let's see. So, for example, there's one. That one went 3-0 Bilgewater. That one went 2-1 Bilgewater. That one went 2-1 Bilgewater. So, yeah, generally speaking, we expect Bilgewater to win on faction strength, but Ionia has a skill boost, so, I'd say it's about a wash. I don't know the exact magnitudes. But since the typical result seems to be a 2-1 for Bilgewater against Ionia in featured matches, I would say that on that basis, one would roughly compute about a 70%. Yeah, actually, you know what? It just about matches up. This skill composition wins 70% of the time versus this one. But this faction wins about 70% of the time versus this one in matches with even skill. So I think we're looking at a relatively even match. Now, of course, that's all assuming that the interplay between these is linear rather than more complicated. And I'm talking about stats again. Where's Mike? There we go. There's Mike. Wait, Mike, why are you not... Here we go. You should be promoted to group admin. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, somehow you weren't set as admin. I don't know why, but I just upgraded you, so now you can enter the locked rooms.
Awesome.
I was just saying I needed Mike in here to prevent me from talking about statistics for 5 minutes. Instead of but just so you know, it's actually quite interesting. Who left? What happened?
Oh no, someone left. I have to watch this through the stream at the moment, so it still looks like everyone's in. Alright, there, now I see it. How about while we're trying to figure that out, how you send me an invite so I can spectate?
Oh, yeah. Aw, man. I was about to say it was lovely because based on the skill matchups, based on our stats, we had a 70% expected win rate for Ionia, and based on featured match results, we had about a 70% expected win rate for Bilgewater.
So that should like make it pretty even.
Sorry?
So that would have been very even based on the things balancing each other out.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if those things actually balance each other out that way, right? But
yeah.
But, you know, naively, assuming that they're independent forces, and they're probably not completely independent, but they're probably, you know, I would be surprised if they weren't. At least somewhat independent, you know, at least mostly independent, then yeah, you'd expect it to balance out.
Yeah.
So that would have been, the science would have been so beautiful.
Yeah. In case everyone listening to stream doesn't know, Cupcake is obsessed with science and stats. That's actually
I like stats.
Yeah.
It bothered me so much that for the first 3 arcs, we basically just, it was a total hack. We were just like, let's make bronzes worth 1 point, and silver's worth 2 points, and gold's worth 3 points, and then apply an arbitrary adjust. And that bugged me, because it was obviously better than having no adjust, but it was just completely based on... And then eventually I polled people and asked them to guess the win rates for different matchups, and I made a new set for Hextech Revolution that was based on what the community guessed. But that's not really scientific either.
Yeah.
But now it's based on empirical win rate. Like, we actually crunched the data for, like, you know, 700 matches, and we're like, yeah, when it's, you know, 5 silvers against 4 silvers and a gold, the team with the gold on it wins X% of the time. I think it's really cool. It actually means that if you ran this and the only difference was the skill tiers, you would expect all the factions to hover at 0, meaning that we're correcting for all the stuff except the stuff we want, right? Which is faction strength and faction cooperation.
Yeah. But obviously it does not stay at 0, so there's something going on.
Now, of course, I'm not claiming this is a perfect system. There's obviously some noise in the data and so on, but yeah, I would be willing to bet that it's roughly correct. I mean, you know, for example, you might have like let's say, you know, people don't play the same number of matches. You might have like in an arc a person who's a silver, who's a super strong or super weak silver, and that'll, you know, slant things and so forth. But
yeah, I've played a factions match where we had a sub-level 30 on one team and a straight-up bronze on another, and the sub-30 was dominating that bronze. It was very surprising. So,
well, I mean, you know, because they're not like Dragon Ball Z power levels, you know what I mean? Like, they're rough approximations of performance, and that's why one of the sort of the null hypothesis when we did these stats was that rank wouldn't matter, that it would just be a total wash. Now, that's not what we discovered, but it's also not completely dominant. Like, for example, the gap between Diamond and Platinum in like a matchup doesn't actually seem that striking, perhaps in part because, and that's funny because you'd expect a Diamond, hey, a Diamond's a Plat who beats other Plats and becomes a Diamond, but perhaps, for example, Plats are just better at working with lower tier summoners because they remember, you know what I mean? Maybe the Diamond are too. The rarefied heights of Diamond have deprived them of the ability to understand why their team won't group for Dragon, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
Sorry, I will stop. Let me restart this stream. Oh, wait, no, I already did.
Yeah.
I did, right?
Hopefully, we'll actually have some strategies and stuff to talk about, not just stats. Otherwise, the stream's gonna start leaving completely.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm getting a little bit of echo off of your mic.
Let me adjust something.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm getting a little bit of echo off
Let's see
of
if
your
that helps.
mic.
Alright, but so it looks like we have Bach and Lel spelled out with the bands. I'm not sure what Bach is supposed to stand for. So this is Bilgewater versus Ionia, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So in the feature matches, these two are the exact opposite ends. Bilgewater completely undefeated in feature matches. Ionia has won once against the Shadow Isles, and that's it.
Yeah. Now let's see what happened here. I think the change... Yeah, I think Ionia dropped its tiers a little bit, and that probably means that the skill tier is closer to even now. So that slants things a bit in build. But, you know, I think it's well within the realm of a fair match.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Which is great. A lot of people have said that they don't get why Ionia is not dominating this arc. They have a very strong roster in champions, and somehow they're just not dominating.
Well, you know, people always say that, and Ionia is one of the most popular factions when people are going to sign up and so forth. And actually, a lot of people who are new to factions will be like, "Oh, Ionia has like a bunch of my favorite champs. You know, they're really strong." But there's been something interesting. Ionia's participated in a lot of arcs. And actually here, let's look at the Factions of Runeterra page. And let's see, I think they've always had kind of a mid to high tier, but not like strikingly high tier performance. Let's see, oh wait, no, that's not it. We want, maybe it's under world systems actually. Somewhere there's a list of like how they performed.
I thought that was just under previous arcs.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're
Where
right.
else would it be?
But there's a separate list, too. There was also a list I created specifically for the vote. Alright, so these will load momentarily. So, back in Mirror Water... Wait, why is that linked to... Oh, come on. Take a look. Look at this Mirror Water scoreboard, guys. This is old school. This is so old school. I mean, like a year old school, but still. Look at these terrible adjusts. Look at that. I'm like, yeah, 5 points for, there's Mysterio who volunteered so much. Sorry, I'm getting nostalgic. Ionia came in, actually kind of performed pretty poorly. I think they were second to last.
Yep.
And then Ceruleana, they were in Ceruleana too, and I think they came in last place. Wow, yeah, they last place there. Discord, they weren't in, or they were, but I think they got eliminated, didn't they? Yeah, I think they did.
I don't think anyone got eliminated from Discord, did they? I thought it was just Mirror Water we removed factions.
No, that was. Oh, no, you're right. I think it was Ceruleana where people got eliminated and it sucked. Yeah, it was Noxus and Shadow Isles got eliminated. They weren't in Discord. They beat Noxus though in Shanzan, even though they lost to Noxus in earlier arcs. And then Hextech, they weren't in Hextech. So you know they're kind of like mid tier. It seems like.
They have like 3 last place and 1 victory, so I don't know if that balances out or not, but
yeah, I think, you know, my impression, and I'm kind of a scrub, but my impression is that Ionia, they're very mobile and dashy, which is kind of cool, and they have some hyper carries, but then they're really kind of, well, dare I say it, balanced, like kind of middling. Like their team fight is, you know, it's all right. Their team fight's okay. It's not a Demacia team fight. It's better than a Piltover team fight. You know, they're kind of meh. So they're flexible, and I think, you know, I don't know. Their time will come. Well, arguably their time came in Shanzan when they won, but
yeah, I think what it might have to do with is Ionia has a lot of solo queue champions, and people want to play it like solo queue. I'm just going to try solo carry this team, and that doesn't work when the other team is working as 5.
You know, that's a big part of my view too. I feel like Ionia, in fact, Ionia, I think tends to, you can look at factions in terms of how they perform in featured matches versus how they perform in pickups, and they're sometimes quite different. Like historically, Demacia got crushed in featured matches but dominated pickups because the Demacian playstyle is super intuitive. It's like the solo queue playstyle. Ionia has a lot of solo queue champions, but like you're saying, I think that can actually be a hindrance in that it encourages them to kind of play it like solo queue, and that's, I find you don't really do that well in factions if you just play it like solo queue. Like you've got to learn your roster.
Yeah, it's it's definitely about, like, if you try to do an all-in team fight on Piltover, you can't do that with Piltover. They're poked over for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one thing that helps Varus... Well, actually, it's funny. Varus... There was a great Riot post recently about Varus and how Varus is actually, like... People would say, oh, Varus should have a really high difficulty rating. It turns out that they did something that I had... Again, I like statistics. I won't get into the details here, but I was like, they should make a champion power rating based on how they affect average elo, right? Like, win rate is not a really great measure of a champion's ability because, for example, old Eve might actually have a decent win rate because the 5 people who played old Eve were super good with her. And so their win rate was fine because if you play a champ enough, you get 50% win rate. That's just the law of elo. Or slightly above 50% if you're improving. But what you really want to look at is win rate over time. Like, okay, what's the win rate for someone who's played this champion 5 times? What about 20 times? What about 50 times? And how does that change? Apparently, Varus has a very flat win rate curve, implying that people get Varus pretty much, in their first few games. Like, not mastery, but, like, learn the basics. Which surprised me. People were like, wait, how does Varus have a lower difficulty rating than Rise? That was the complaint. They're like, Rise is like the derpiest champion. Turns out Rise actually has kind of a upward sloping win rate curve. It takes people time to learn how to play Rise.
Yeah. I think, just speculating here off of the Rise, I think what it has to do with, when people, just like a normal or solo queue game, you just like randomly, I'll try out Rise. It's like, you just want to try randomly decide, okay, I'm going to try to kill my lane opponent early on. It's like, no, with Rise, your late game, you want to farm up and like just do this weird split push and late game power Rise.
He's a bit of a lane bully, but yeah, I think the other thing is that, as someone pointed out, Rise, his gameplay is actually kind of unique. It's a little different from other mages.
Yeah, he's kind of like a DPS, but a mage.
Yeah, but like his ability mechanics too, they're really kind of weird. Like, and so I think that might be part of it too. Like, if you've played ADCs, you pick up Varus, and it's like, oh, he's an ADC, Like, so maybe it's easier to pick up Bilgewater. So they said, what about the Bilge roster? I don't know. I think the Bilge roster is remarkably balanced as in well-rounded for being such at least initially, a small roster. I think it's weird they're running Renekton and Jax in this match. Not that weird.
Yeah, that was a little surprising, but Jax is going jungle, which I guess is to get around his laning phase. That's like, because usually what you do with Jax is you just wait till you get farmed up and then you just split push and no one can solo you. Mm-hmm. So I guess their idea is just get past that lane phase and then try to just use the hyper carry Jax.
Right. Outback Renekton.
Yeah. Alright, so you want to do the Bilgewater skins?
Sure. I mean, Jax is going classic style, as is Nami. Red card always makes me think of the Area of Defect song, Endgame, which includes this'll stop Cat, just a bit of hard CC, blow the whistle on that red card, referee. And I was like, that was fantastic.
Nice.
But an arcade misfortune,
Pretty good.
Good skins. And then Ionia, they're ninjas.
5 skins for
5 skins. Perfection, balance, and harmony.
Exactly. And so it's Assassin SG, Crimson Macaulay, Warlord Shen, Reaper Soraka, and Arc White Varus. Which means they just won the skin war.
That's like Date Masamune Shen. He's got the golden shutter mask.
Yeah. I don't know, Reaper Soraka. Maybe it's like it looks like she wants to join the Shadow Isles.
Hey, she can only take so much. Eventually, she's got her tipping point.
Yeah.
And we have a heroic Varus.
So, Shen is going to be facing off against Renekton in the top lane. And Renekton already wins that, I feel. Just like this matchup, Renekton versus Shen. Renekton already wins that. He's an early lane bully. And Shen, his whole thing is getting tank and team fight, split push, that kind of thing. So, Renekton's already winning, but it's also the diamond versus gold. So, I think this top lane is going to go very well for Bilgewater. And Ionia's going to have to make up for it in other places if they want to win.
Seems likely.
Yeah. So we're playing, and we're on the classic Summer's Rift, not the beta that was released for Team Builder.
Indeed, the renovations to the Summoner's Rift are still underway.
Yep.
A little bit of gardening.
Yep, a little bit of gardening. Let's see, and pretty much expected for the most part the starting items. Although I do question, a colleague has a Doran shield. That's mostly for you're trying to stop like auto attack damage.
Really strange.
Yeah. I mean, auto attack damage is not something Ionia really is known for.
Why would she get a Doran shield?
Yeah, it's like, it gives you the, regen per second, but
yeah, it's not
I still don't think that's the way to go. I mean, boots plus pots would be even better, although I actually would advocate for maybe like an amp tone.
Sorry. I'll stop.
Channeling your inner pig.
Boots and butts, boots and butts. It's like the the beatboxing. It's boots and cats, right? Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats.
Yeah, so no one looking to invade. They are just making sure other people can't invade them. Yeah, so both teams do have their hyper scaler with Master Yi on Ionia, Jax on Bilgewater. Although Jax kind of counters Yi because he can just put up his counter strike and block all Yi's auto attack damage.
Blue Golem's like, leave me alone!
But no.
Jerk.
That's what happens when you have a delicious buff everyone loves.
Yep. Hey, don't, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah. So, not a whole lot going on, just some farming. I'm still questioning the Akali start, but the start on Soraka, I mean, she's got to play a lot riskier because she got her Spell Feast, which, it's about a star on her, but she's got to play more risky in order to get all of her Spell Feast stacks off and get the gold from it. And thanks to the changes on Soraka, she doesn't have much sustain for herself. She's got amazing sustain for her lane partner, but on herself, very little, which means I think she's going to end up losing a lot of trades to Nami, and it's going to hurt them.
Misfortunate Nami, pretty strong lane, I think. Soraka Varus is much more of a because they have to sort of combination.
They can, oh yeah, because Karma is Mia.
Karma is Mia after an unfortunate incident with the life.
Honestly, like every time I see them take someone other than Karma bot lane, like in the feature matches, I always wonder why did they not take Karma? They have the ultimate poke lane going on. But now, obviously they have no choice.
Yeah, they have to go a little more, yeah. Although, hey, Karma will be back in action tomorrow.
So yeah.
Remind me to update that. Karma will recover from her her book incident. Nice bubble!
Nice bubble!
Yeah, and so, Raka getting very low. They're pushed up against their own tower, but they're still pretty even in CS, so They're not gonna fall too far behind just yet. Yeah, so looking at the top lane though, there's a very slight lead for Renekton. Oh, bubble onto Varus in the bot lane. They get the disengage. Ooh, the heal. Oh, nice arrow to kind of even out the trade there a bit.
Hey, who knows? If Ionia could win this, that'd be a great boost.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible. Far from impossible. One nice thing about Ionia is they've always got a chance so long as they've got these hyper carries on their team.
If they got the split push Shen, which can help them a lot.
But did you see his ninja
Shen.
valor? He was like, I'm ignited. I will not survive this. But then he charges into the fray nonetheless, determined to gain honor in death.
Exactly. That's what Garen says all the time. You'll find honor in death.
You will find honor in death. Come forth, you will find honor in death.
Varus taunts Renekton on the tower, forces him to take a shot. But Renekton's not overly worried. I mean, even though he's lower on health, he's got so much sustain. But I think he just wants to back for some, to spend the gold he got. The junglers neither have ganks. They're both just farming. Both are, that's expected. They both just want to hyper scale, get their Wiggles Lantern, turn it into a... Crap, I'm blanking on the name here.
Feral Flare?
Feral Flare, that's it. Mid lane, I'm surprised. Somehow Akali is, even with the weird Doran shield start we were questioning, is slightly ahead in CS. It's not huge, but it's something.
Yep.
Although she did burn her pot while Karina has hers and is a level ahead. Jax looking to make something happen in the bot lane. Or now he's just gonna ward him back away.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
That's Jax. He just can't be beaten one-on-one.
Yeah, no, that, I mean, that's really, Jax really, so, you know, part of factions, right, is, you know, choosing your next champion, filling your roster, and I think picking up Jax filled a major gap in Bilgewater's roster. It gave them a real strong top laner. Now, they then picked up Renekton.
They really don't like game plans for the top lane. Like, oh yeah, let's get a top laner. Got Jax. And he's strong, and then they decided to get Renekton too. I guess it's so they have an option, like, alright, we have the late game Jax, let's also make sure if we want we can have the early game Renekton.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually, so it's interesting, Ionia chose not to grab Nasus. There's that, or was Renekton last picked? No, I don't think so.
No, they picked Renekton before Ionia picked Shen, so they were perfectly capable of picking up Nasus. I think
but you know, Shen's a fine choice.
Yeah, Shen's a very good choice. I think part of the reason was, though, the Nasus, you know, he has to be able to farm in order to be valuable.
Yeah.
And Renekton's such a lane bully, they're probably afraid he's just going to get bullied out of lane and not be worth anything. Although, it was Poncho in the last set of feature matches that picked Nasus into Renekton and still came out on top. So, even though you get countered, that doesn't mean you're instantly dead. Oh! Kali goes in and gets the carrying kill. Although,
man, Akali versus Cat, that is a fierce, you know, in universe at least, but also in the game, right? That is a pretty fierce melee.
Yeah, it's just all these jumps going around all over the place.
Knives everywhere.
They both got a knife, or they both got a jump, they both got spins. Yeah, once again, Renekton, the diamond, is like, I'm just gonna get fed off of you, Shen. Jax goes mid, he's just gonna... Oh, he's gonna try put some damage on this tower. Not gonna be able to take, he just doesn't have the main wave. But that does mean that if Akali leaves her lane to try roam, that tower's gonna be much easier to kill.
Well, and you know, there's also a part of the metagame which is how you deal with imbalances, right? Because if you're a diamond, if the teams are balanced, if you're a diamond fighting a silver, it means that somewhere else your silver is fighting their diamond, and vice versa. Oh, here comes Shen.
Here comes CP by Shen. Can they get their neck in? It looks like it. Oh wow, he's whoa!
How is that even possible?
Forced to run away. So he tried to tried alpha strike for the kill, but Shen's like, that's a little dangerous because it's renekton. You're already so low.
I think that was the dialogue.
Yeah. And so Bilgewater knows that they have the Ionia's junglers up top. They go for Dragon down below.
Good coordination there. You know, Bilgewater is one of the most coordinated and collaborative factions this arc. They really do. I mean, I think actually Shadow Isles is catching up a lot. But Bilgewater's summoners do a great job of coordinating.
Yeah, I feel bad, because we started up the Shadow Isles forum. I started off posting there a lot, but lately I've been so crammed with my classes. I haven't posted much.
Yeah. Well, and also we have a new forum coming hopefully this weekend. Matsukune is putting together, and then we'll be able to really push it as a general factions forum, and I think it'll help. Yeah.
Because there has been a lot of talk on that forum for all those who don't know. We start up Foreign Streets faction. We're all there for discussing strategy.
Yeah, although we're increasingly realizing that we should have one big factions forum with locked subboards for members of different factions, just because it's easier to handle than 4 separate forums.
Yeah, but for now we're just making do.
Yep.
Akali though looking to take out Renekton. Renekton tries to dash over the wall. It fails. And he's likely gonna go down. Yep, Akali picks up the kills exactly what they want. Oh, here comes Kyrie, but she's outnumbered. What was she thinking?
Well, Curiosity and Cast. Ionia is doing some real damage to Bilgewater's lead here. They are still a little behind.
It's essentially even though, 400, 500 gold is really no lead. It's not going to make any difference in a big fight.
More important, I think, is the trajectory here, the trends we're noticing, and Ionia is doing a good job of teaming up.
Oh,
except for
Jack stuns the Yi. Akali comes in, but she's
a little late. Akali, what were you doing? Were you checking your phone?
Yeah. That's the thing about ninjas. They're just too unpredictable, even for their own team.
Very unpredictable.
Yeah. And yes, we do have the classic ninjas versus pirates matchup, although we only actually have one pirate.
Ninjas and pirates do not get along.
Yeah. Let's see though, this mid tower. He wants the kill on top of the tower. Akali flashes, ults, and now she's got to deal with Renekton.
Here's Shen.
Here comes the Shen.
You're going to see a repeat of what happened in top lane,
just
possibly.
leaving Renekton to his own salvation. He has to save himself. And he's doing, whoa! Karina's gonna, oh no, it was Jax who did it. I thought Karina was just gonna kill them, but she let Jax take care of it.
If only Soraka could turn to the dark side and do a Karth assault.
Or she could embrace, undeath and bring back the undead forms of her teammates. Yeah, so Bilgewater. Oh, Jax goes in on Shen. This is not looking good for Ionia. Burn a flash. Oh, here comes Yi to try to do the cleanup crew. He gets the kill. No, he's trying to run around that thing as fast as he can, get to the misfortune. Alpha Strike, flash. His ult's still up, and his ult just ran out. That is really going to hurt his chase potential. He's going to have to back. Should be farming, because Carrie needs to help his low teammates. Soraka needs to back out, but Carrie is following her.
Bad news for Twilight Sparkle. Run! Run! No.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're farming.
Oh, but here comes Akali, and Akali's gonna happen right to Misfortune's face.
There's a very low Nami, she can reach her, but it doesn't look like it. And now focusing on Cat.
Akali's like, hey Cat, I hear you like resets.
Exactly. I mean, it does have the reset team between Yi and Akali. I mean, so once they get one kill, they're gonna roll with it.
Uh-oh, Crocodile's happening.
I don't think
Is she
Akali's
outduel
gonna be able to win. Oh wow, she is so far.
That's pretty impressive. Usually, the tankier champions win those sorts of.
That is very surprising.
This Asuna, she is kawaii.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. Well done. Might have to do with a little bit. You know, she has Zonius to block all of Renekton's AD damage, and Renekton, he only has armor, which doesn't stop all the AP that Ionia brings out. I'm actually surprised he started off, you know, looks like he's going for a Sunfire Cape, you know, might be...
Yeah, I think that's obviously what those...
But, you know, he's laning against Shen, who does mostly AP damage, and then the fed person on Ionia is Akali's, you know, she does some AD, but mostly AP. So, question why you wanted to rush armor.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Flashes ults, re-engage. Oh, he Alpha Strikes over the Nami ult, and that is a clean 3 kills for nothing.
Wonderful coordination from Ionia. They are really taking this game back.
Yeah, Shen teleports to the bot lane because they saw it was being pushed. And so they're not going to take any tower losses for winning that fight. And now they're looking to try to take mid. Renekton, I mean, I don't think he's being able to defend this. Yeah. Yi taken very low because he was tanking the tower, but it all works out. Misfortune, oh, the ultimate just barely isn't enough.
You know, Yi and Soraka is a classic pair.
Yeah, let the hyper carry just constantly kill, and then Soraka's just gonna make him unkillable.
Much harder to kill, yeah. Add that protection, add that silence.
Carrion wants this Akali. I don't think she's gonna get away. Oh, the Zonia's! Can she hop to the red buff? Yes!
Oh!
So close. But while that's happening, I grab Dragon. Perfect distraction.
Sorry, I'm just imagining in-universe trash talk about, hey, Nox is invading our jungle. Well, it didn't go so well for you in Shanzan. Oh! And they're like, hey, Cat, didn't you learn the lesson the first 2 times? Katarina's like, grrr!
Yeah. Let's see. Gold difference is now about 3,000 in Ionia's favor, despite being down 2 towers. You know, they got over double Bilgewater's kills, and I think they both took 1 dragon, so they're even there.
Yep.
So yeah, 4,000 gold. Not huge, but it's enough that they should have the edge in any major fight. Akali is getting trapped. There's the ward. That's there's a lot of champions like that where it's like, it's great to always just have a ward in your pocket because you can hop to or use it to give you vision, something you can hop to.
You know what's interesting? There's no Lee Sin here.
Yep. That's the king of hopping towards. And there goes Yi. Just, I don't know what he was doing. I guess he thought Akali wanted to fight.
Master Yi must follow his path. Sometimes that path involves feeding, and sometimes it involves pentakills.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume he thought Akali wanted to go in and fight the 2v2, but Akali evidently did not.
Checking her phone again.
Exactly. Do you think this have phones? I thought they'd like use some shadow communication.
Probably. She was checking her aura.
So Shen got the top outer tower, but Bilgewater is going to take this mid inner tower, not the
Akali.
best for Ionia. Oh, Akali is just trying to dive in on Cat.
That's pretty aggressive. That's pretty aggressive.
What is she doing? Get out.
Wow, I'm surprised she
does
survived
save the tower, though. That... I was a mistake, but no, she saved the tower when it should have died. That was actually well played.
Yep, I think so. She knew she could do it.
And in the bottom lane, Varus gonna take the outer tower. And now Ionia has 3 towers to Bilgewater's 3 towers. They broke even in that department.
And you know, this talk about factional rivalry makes me... Oh, never mind. Here's some rivalry right now. Nope, it's fading out. Well, no, I think it's about to return. The vengeance.
Shen taking a few shots, but he's tanky. It doesn't really matter to him.
Yeah, I think it's right for Ionia to back up. Well, hey, you know, Ionia is such a mobile team. A mobile faction, really. That they can afford to dabble like that a little bit. Because they've all got dashes. all of them.
What doesn't is the bot lane, but yeah, they're not the ones pulling risky. It's the other ones that have all the escapes.
I think when you're an 11-2 Akali, you can get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can. You don't have to sweat all the little stuff. I mean, there have been games where you see like a Akali just get like a quadra kill in a 1v4. She's just got so much healing.
Well, she's one of those champions. I mean, any champion with regen, especially, is inherently a bit binary that way. It's part of why, you know, some designers say they have problems with like heal tanks, because they either pentakill or just die. Because if they're past the point where they're healing faster than you're damaging them, then they will kill an arbitrary number of opponents, right? Because they'll always be able to feed themselves to deal with the damage. And if they don't reach that level, then they're just not very impressive. Sustain tanks, sorry, not heal tanks, sustain tanks. And Akali has a bit of a sustain tank aspect to her.
Yeah, Akali's like, I think she's my most played solo queue over Season 4. And there's so many times it's just like you just use like your Zonias, your DFG, and your Gunblade, and like anytime you get in a situation around ever, you just use those and
borrow some help
that
from the enemy
natural healing. So you can like basically 1v5.
And her Twilight Shroud, yeah, no, she's actually a very, if not durable as such, then resilient and evasive champion.
Yep. So they're trying to do the split push comp Ionia, but they're going to lose a tower while doing so. Oh! Nectar goes in. Shen ults. Oh, he gets in, but Soraka dies instantly. Let's see how this turns out. Akali trying to solo everyone. Not going great, but
that's okay, we have Master Yi there.
Yeah, Master Yi says...
The other hyper carry. Quick, bring in our second hyper carry! Deploy the auxiliary hyper carry.
They got Akali hyper carry, they got Yi hyper carry. But then again, Bilgewater has 2 hyper carries, you know, with Cat and Drax. So.
I support this Baron call. I think they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, 3 dead on Bilgewater.
Got Varus. That's a lot of damage.
Over there.
Now, does Bilgewater have any vision of this? Nope.
No, they got one ward over the wall, but that doesn't say anything about Baron itself. Although they do know that they're there because they saw him clear wards around Baron.
Right.
But, you know, it's so low, they're not going to get there in time. They might
but now they've got to get out of here.
After Baron's dead. Soraka wants to get this karma. Oh, the silence stops the parry and all.
Uh-oh, this is real risky if they go in on this.
Oh, wow, that Varus is popped. That's one person. Baron buff removed. Soraka gonna die. So, 2 kills for 1 kill plus Baron. That's still an Ionia.
I'm gonna call that a definite advantage for Ionia. Yeah.
Although, like, Bilgewater did do a good thing. Even though they cost them 1 death, they got 2 Baron buffs off of Ionia, so they made the best out of it.
Yeah. But it's still early enough that, like, Varus is back. Like, they're gonna have to really work for this tower if they want it.
Yeah, Shen, you know, they gotta be careful about fighting a tower with Shen near, because, you know, he's just gonna taunt you, and then all of a sudden, the tower is gonna kill your team. I remember the days back when AP Mastery was viable. he could like alpha strike in under tower and then just start meditating, and you couldn't kill him even though he was under tower being focused by 5 people.
There's that dashing.
Let's
Where's
see,
the MF ult? There he is.
She's got the heals. I think they're going to turn this fight around.
I think so too.
Akali got the Zonias. Dashes for the kill. Flashes for safety. Forces the flash out cat. And now it's just cleanup. They could go for dragon. It's up. They could go for towers. They got mid lane's not too hard to push up to tower. Although they would want their Varus to take it with them for extra speed, but you know they got Yi, so it's not gonna hurt them a ton. Oh, they're gonna tower dive. Shen taunt. There goes Misfortune. They're gonna get mid tower, and then they should probably back. Everyone on Bilgewater's up, but Misfortune just died. Varus needs to back too. He can get like one more shot out and he needs to run.
Oh, they're sending reinforcements with Shen. Hey, they got the tower.
Yeah, that's enough. Just the Shen means the 2 people that Bilgewater was saying was not enough. And then he ults, even though they don't really need the shield, it's just to get to Dragon faster.
You know, I heard someone saying there's something about the number of rings on the recall animation. That it actually changes, like with, you know, days since the last patch or something.
Really?
I'm not sure if that's true, but I heard someone say that.
That would be interesting. One of Riot's little hidden Easter eggs for us.
There are quite a few. But I was going to say about factional rivalries, you know, one thing I'm really keen on, and I'd like to encourage more, is that the faction starting to say, okay, which other factions are our friends, which are our enemies? We're getting a little bit of that animosity bubbling up. You know, animosity and friendship with the supports and opposes on...
Especially in the Hex Tech Revolution, it was really...
Yeah.
Zon was kind of, you know, this unknown backside to Noxus. It was like, yeah, you know, people who don't like Noxus kind of dislike Zon too. But then all of a sudden, all these people start ganging up on Zon, and you get
and that's the risk, right? That Bilgewater... now, Bilgewater is being a bit friendlier and nicer. Like, they appointed Nami as their leader, by far their most sympathetic champion.
Exactly. I was a little surprised when they did that, because a lot of Zon went to Bilgewater, the like, players.
I thought they were going to go Psycho. I thought it was going to be Gangplank. Yeah. I mean, Zon wasn't total Psycho, but Zon early on, I mean, they were pretty aggro. Bombing Piltover, like that. They were pretty aggro. And they were also just not... They weren't, like, evil as such, but Zon was definitely kind of, screw all of you. You know, sort of... And also, people just ganged up on them.
Yep, they didn't like Zon beating everyone, so they tried to gang up, and Zon will still take you on.
Yep.
And Ionia, they don't have the full team here. They're not going in coordinated. It's more of, you know, 1 or 2 at a time. And it's costing them big. They're taking a lot of deaths. Akali wants to do some cleanup, but you know she can't take on 4 people. She's not God yet. She needs to get some more kills first. She's just gonna try to take top tower. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to stop them from taking tower by myself. I can't save Soraka. I'm just gonna try to get some towers out of this. Do sort of a base race.
1v4 base race. Oh, but they're going to have Yi up soon. I mean, at most, Bilgewater's getting a tower. I mean, maybe they get an inhib out of it.
I'm pretty sure they can get an inhib because Akali did recall, so maybe they can stop this. No, it's inhib for sure.
I mean, they're putting themselves in range of a very mobile team with a lot of hyper carries. They stayed longer than I would have expected them to.
By Bilgewater. I'm gonna say that was a very big misplay by Bilgewater. They have 4 people, even though you're up against 2 hyper carries. There's 4 of you. You should have just tried to kill them.
Yeah, it's true. They also lost formation as they retreated. You know, it's an important skill that I think is not emphasized enough lately in League. When you retreat like a phalanx. You know, you fall back and you cover each other. One of the biggest, a very common mistake is people just retreat. You know, kind of every man for himself, and then you get killed one by one.
Yeah, you need to do basically the opposite of what you do when you're engaging. You have your tanks in the back covering the tree and your squishies in front.
Engage like a Noxian, fall back like a Demacian. When you engage, it's all about the one person seizing the glory and causing havoc and exulting in their strength. When you fall back, you're a team working together, covering each other.
Exactly.
Anoxian then, I'm sure, is adding in the Twitch chat that, the other thing is that Demacians run away. And I'm like, but I think it's important, Bilgewater probably wants to, they got to be careful if they don't end up in a Zon position here where everyone's ganging up on them.
I don't think they will. I mean, they're starting off very, they're not being psycho, they're picking
They're very
noble,
they just chose a bunch of yes, feed the world, and it doesn't even come off as PR, it comes off as Nami being kind of generous-minded and so forth.
Yeah.
So I think they'll pick up an ally, but I don't know who they're going to ally with.
Everything, wow, that was very impressive. That was a bad start for Ionia once again, but Shen was so tanky, and he was the one being focused, that there was just nothing Bilgewater could do because they put all their damage on the tank they couldn't kill.
Well, if this match is any indication, Ionia might end up being Bilgewater's ally. Can't beat him, join him. Unfortunately, Bilgewater can generally beat Ionia, but this match, well played both sides. Special props, though, to Ionia for, albeit with a modest skill advantage, really coming in together after a difficult start and showing that they can work as a team and coordinate.
Yeah, it was, they weren't very far behind. It's only about, 2,000 or 4,000 gold at the start they were behind by. And then, they made some good calls. They did the right plays, and then they're just able to, okay, we're going to get the Kali hyper fed, and then we're also going to get Yi very fed, and with 2 hyper carries fed, we're just going to roll with it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, do you have a skill advantage replacing a plat with a silver? Let me try to remember. From memory, what was it? What was the matchup there?
I'm not sure. I know that there was 2 plats on Ionia and a diamond on Bilgewater. JD Mage is a gold, Rex Treff is a silver, Soda Man is a gold, I think Kent is a plat. So yeah, for Bilgewater it was diamond, plat, gold, silver, and then Ionia, no Revolutionist is a plat, no Junpei's a gold, I think Kawe is a plat, and then I'm not sure about Clayton.
Well, it'll come in momentarily, and actually this is a good opportunity. So one way you'll be able to check, guys, right, is all the matches are here in the Balance of Power spreadsheet. Spreadsheets, me. But again, you can actually see here for each match, right? This is, by the way, serious props to scorers, all of our people who score. What the scores punch in the ranks, and then you see, for example, here, this column. The spreadsheet computes, okay, that freaking lots of plat, gold, silver, bronze versus diamond, gold, silver. It reduces that down by canceling out, like if there's a gold on each side, it'll cancel out that gold. And that turns, for example, into platinum, bronze versus diamond, gold. It'll also break it down according to HGL. So the HGL is where you make diamonds and plats H's, golds stay golds, and bronzes and silvers become L's. That's just a way to squeeze more data out of our data set. And it goes through, and its first preference is it tries to process this matchup, the specific gold versus bronze. And if it can do that, then it uses that. It says, okay, gold versus bronze, a team where the only difference is one team has a gold where the other has a bronze. In this case, it's counting the unranked person as a bronze. Usually the team with a gold will win 80% of the time. In contrast, for example, here we have platinum, gold versus diamond, silver, bronze. Now that particular matchup hasn't occurred a whole lot. And so it reverts to this, is okay, well let's just break it down to HGL, and then it's 2 golds versus 2 low-ranked players, and that's an 82%, and so on. So, and then it, of course, adjusts the stats. So All right, I'm gonna stop now, but I think that's pretty cool.
Cupcake and stats. That is secretly why he started factions, so he had more random
So I had more
stats. to compute.
stats. No, it's really cool because I what am I again? This is way far down the list, right? Because obviously I have a whole bunch of just factions projects to do, but at some point I'll probably use it as a recruiting tool or something. I'd really like to put together like a little report on what we've gathered here because I don't know. I think a lot of people wonder like, so how would a team of golds do against a team of silvers, on average?
Yeah, something that maybe even like the LCS, they're all kind of challenger, but if they find a way to calculate like their standing in challenger, the difference, they could calculate, oh yeah, this Dignitas is going to beat Curse 50.
Well, I think it would be of less use there. Well, but in theory, if you had a whole lot of, I don't think there's the data for that, but yeah, potential. It's possible. Or for example, for more casual tournaments, I think it provides some guidance as to what sorts of matchups can be considered fair other than perfect mirror matches.
Yeah. But let's get off all the stats stuff and let's do our MVPs because the players love to know if they got named MVP. The audience seems to like it. My MVPs, I'll start with Bilgewater. Kyrena and Renekton both did pretty good. They both have pretty high kills for the losing team, but I want to give it to Renekton because he was kind of the one who gave the early lead. He got multiple kills on Shen. He got the first tower of the game. So I want to give... Yeah, so I want to give it to Renekton.
I actually think Nami had some really, really good plays there. Some nice bubbles. I thought that was very strong.
I will say Nami had some good plays with the bubbles, like you said, but